One of the easiest things men can do to have more erectile control and have intense big O's is edging. But this is something that divides the industry. Some say it's dangerous and causes things like blue balls and erectile issues, whilst others say it's the best thing that they've tried for control and intensity. In this video, we'll deep dive into what edging is, how it can be helpful, and what the pros and cons are of using this technique. Firstly, what is edging? Well, edging refers to the practice of delaying or prolonging actual stimulation right before the point of the big O. Essentially, it's bringing yourself right to the point of no return, right before you actually blow one, and stopping and letting that energy reduce. And you can do this by yourself or do this with your partner. Both men and women can edge, but for context of this video, we'll discuss it from a man's point of view. Why do men practice edging? Well, there's a few reasons people practice edging, and the most popular of which is lasting longer, delaying orgasm. Edging can allow you to exert more control over your big O, helping prevent premature ejac. And keep this in mind, we'll dive in deeper into this towards the end of this video. But generally, delaying one's finish is a key reason why a lot of people practice edging. Another key reason why people practice edging is that it can increase the intensity of the big O. The cycle of building up and reducing actual tension and excitement multiple times back to back in a cyclical fashion allows for the ultimate release to be intensified. Think about it like this. You've stopped yourself from having a sweet treat back to back, and then when you finally have that sweet treat, it's so much sweeter, it's so much more intense. This is what edging can give you, and it's what edging can give your partner. So how do people practice edging? Well, it can vary slightly depending on what your goal is. If your goal is to learn more about that point of no return, how close you are to finishing, and you want better control of everything that happens down there, then you will use the squeezing of the pelvic floor or the stab method. This is where you get as close to your peak, as close as you are to firing the point of no return, and then you squeeze your pelvic floor muscles hard, essentially doing an intense Kegel, and you hold it for about 10 seconds and you stop stimulation. And if you're following the actual stab method by Nate Eliason, I think it is, then you want to think about something else to distract yourself, and then you want to avoid stimulation, so you want to stop moving at that point in time and then take a deep breath, stab. Alternatively, you can just hold the pelvic floor and take a deep breath, breathe all the way down into your balls, as the quote says. And just to point out, when I say squeeze, I don't mean that actual squeeze physically. It can be a bit dangerous to apply physical pressure and restrict blood flow to that area. So this is something I'd say to avoid. What you want to focus more on is squeezing your pelvic floor muscles along with some good start and stop technique. Hence why building your pelvic floor muscles is key for success. If you're not doing Kegels, you need to start with that. On the other hand, another key reason why people do this is to sync the big O's, the finish, with their partner. And for that, start and stop method can help. They're building each other up towards excitement and slowly releasing or coming down from that excitement and building it back up can allow you to edge together, control the excitement together, and finish simultaneously. Finish at the same time. Big O's back to back. And this can be powerful for building connections with your partner, getting that unique and intense finish together. And this is why a lot of people edge together. So what are the benefits of edging? Well, as discussed above, it can help increase your intensity of your finish. And also it can help you last longer, have a lot more control of your big O, an understanding of self. It can also bring you closer to your partner if you're edging together. But the part that not a lot of people talk about is that edging is the precursor to separating the big O from the ejaculation. Yes, they tend to happen at the same time, but in actuality, there are two different physiological events. They can occur independently of each other. The ejaculation is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, whilst the big O involves both the autonomic nervous system and different brain regions such as the limbic system, the hypothalamus, and the prefrontal cortex working together to create this insane or intense feeling. Essentially, one is automatic and the other is accumulation of many different factors. So one can happen without the other. And for many men who understand this, this is where people start becoming multi-old. They experience many different types of O's back to back without any ejac in one interaction. Apologies, I have to change words around a little bit so the video doesn't get into any issues. Additionally, with all of this practice, you can get to a point where you have so much control, you don't need to start and stop anymore. You can experience the peak and keep at the peak So your O's tend to last for longer and you can essentially remain bricked up without having to eject. Unless, of course, you want to, but you can control the energy using your pelvic floor, using breathing, and using controlling your levels of excitement to stay in the game. It's crazy, and this helps you become truly one with self. You're truly in control, and I believe this is where most men need to get to. You need to get to a point where you're truly in control of self. And another benefit of edging in itself is the mental side. Yes, it's physical to edge in a sense, you know, using start and stop, but there's a deepening of the mind-body connection that comes with focusing on your own sensations and pleasure, and overcoming the innate need or want to let one fly, to finish and have that big O, especially when your body tells you, using your mind to stop yourself from doing so. You're learning to control your urges, and I believe true masculinity essentially lies in control, knowing you can do something but choosing not to, only if you truly want to. The need for specific outcomes in general does not control you. You're somebody who can put his mind towards anything and achieve it. In my opinion, that's a key form of masculinity. But all of this does sound a bit too intense and maybe too good to be true. So what's the cons? Some of the risk I hear about or is spoken about is potential erectile issues or an inability to climax. But these things aren't proven. Generally, edging is not known to be harmful. It's something that most men do to some extent, getting closer to your finish point and then cooling down. But the main issue people tend to speak about is blue balls. Scientifically, this is epididymal hypertension. And this is where an erection lasts a bit too long, you know, for an extended period of time without you getting that big finish. And it can cause some uncomfort. But these issues tend not to be serious and usually go away on their own. Symptoms of blue balls can be pain, discomfort, heaviness. But from my experience, I've never heard this happening to anyone in reality. A lot of the people I've spoken to, I've coached, they've never told me of any issues. So I'm not saying this does not happen. I just haven't heard much of it. If you've experienced this, comment down below and let people know what your experience is. But in my opinion, as a man, I don't believe you should be letting one fly every single time. Every single time you're intimate, this shouldn't always be about chasing that outcome. A few times you might choose not to, and a few times you might choose to. And once you start separating the O from ejac, you still get the feeling of the big O without the liquid. And this might be the remedy for some people who are experiencing blue balls. But in general, this practice of edging might not be for everyone. Some people might find it a bit too frustrating and causing too much tension and stress, because instead of focusing on the moment and being in the present and enjoying it, you're in your head trying to understand your points of no return instead of letting things flow naturally. And letting things flow is what it should be about, right? Energy in motion, which is emotion and a combination of it all. So for some people, this is not for you. That control is not for you, which might be a pro if you want to practice edging. For these kind of people, maybe you want to avoid this practice. Another key thing to note is that too much of anything can be bad. Generally, when men stumble across things that are beneficial to them, they tend to overdo it. And edging is not something you want to overdo. Sometimes you want to edge, sometimes you want things to be natural. So be very mindful not to overdo it. A few times here and there, perfect. It's not meant to be an everyday tool, because this is where potential blue balls and other issues can stem from. But also remember, what works for Peter doesn't necessarily always work for Paul. If Peter's trying something doesn't necessarily mean you should try it. And if you do try it and you have a different outcome, just stop it. If you experience any discomfort, please stop. It's maybe not for you. Everything generally is not for everyone. So to conclude, this can be a tool to learn more about yourself, to learn more about your partner, to get better forms of control, but simultaneously it should be done with boosting the strength of your pelvic floor. If you got weak pelvic floor muscles, this is something that might not work as optimally for you. So you should be doing those Kegels, those reverse Kegels. I do have a video on Kegels if you click the eye, but there are powers in mastering Kegels, reverse Kegels, along with breathing for optimal performance as a man. If you want a video on both of these that combine it to help you be optimal in the field, comment down one and I'll get this done for you. There's powers in control as a man. So be sure to check out how to control your erection and control your nut. Catch you soon. See you on the next one. Peace. Click here.